Hello and welcome to this episode of the Barbarian Investor Show. I'm Adam Jason and today I'm joined by Pierre-Emmanuel Chaya, the founder and CEO of Setteo. Pierre, great to have you with us.
Thank you very much. A pleasure. Same here.
So Setteo, can you give us a bit of background, maybe firstly on yourself, because there's a personal link here, right, between you and the company and your personal interests.
Yeah, definitely. I'm passionate about tennis, and I'm also a business guy. I'm an entrepreneur for the last 10 years. So it was great 3 years and a half ago, when we get into this business to decide to join, passion and business at the same time. I'm myself a former semi-professional tennis player. I used to play on the circuit. I used to manage, be the general manager of Head, the biggest racket manufacturer in the world for Spain and Portugal. So I had that 360 understanding. I've always been around racket sports and tennis especially. And so it's once again very, very nice to mix both your passion and also the business side, which I'm quite into as well. I used to work for big corporations, Procter & Gamble, Total Fina, the oil company. Okay. My background is a scientist. I'm a scientist. I'm a chemist by training. But obviously I train to the business and I get trained as well to business. So anyway, long story short, it's really great to mix both.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Okay.
Here we are.
And so, the idea for Setteo and building a business specifically for the racket sports industry, I mean, what was the issue that you saw that you felt needed to be addressed?
The main issue is obviously as a player, I would say, even if the whole industry is suffering. But as a player, basic things, like if you want to find a player, right now we want to play in a couple of hours, you won't be able to find a player. If you want to find a hotel, you go on booking.com, you find it. You want to find a restaurant, right, you find it, But if you want to find a player, a partner, if you want to book a court, there is no place where you can go. It exists certain communities locally, but not a global community. That's one thing. The competitions as well are very old-fashioned. The formats of competitions, it's the same forever. Actually, rankings, national rankings, when you play in competition in tennis, or at amateur level, competition, but amateur level, they update the ranking, federation update the ranking once a year, and in the best case scenario, once a month. Really? So can you imagine posting something on Facebook, for example, and getting the likes 1 year after? That's what we're doing with tennis right now, at the grassroots level, not at the professional level. So that's kind of the issues we saw in the market and we wanted to address with Setteo.
Okay. So Setteo is enabling tennis players or just general racket sports players, right? It's not just tennis, to connect and to play. And there's also this added element that you're using the blockchain and a token. So can you explain a bit about how digital currency or a token is going to be used to kind of create this ecosystem? Yeah.
It's definitely part of our vision. Our vision is to make the world play together. It's once again to address these problems at the grassroots level. The fact that when you go to a club and you don't have a lot of atmosphere, a lot of players, a lot of animations like in the 80s, for example, we address it obviously with the app. We address it with a ranking, which is absolutely dynamic, unisex, universal, but also peer-to-peer. Right. And this is where, first of all, the blockchain comes. Because this ranking needs to be officialized in a way. It's not going to be by the federation because we don't want every year. As I mentioned before, we want it in the now. You play, you want it now. So the blockchain is going to be the way to officialize the ranking. So first of all, the very technology behind the cryptocurrencies, the blockchain is used in our ranking, and we can come back to this later. And then the token is also a very, very big part of it, because at the end of the day, the token is useful to incentive the network of players, the ones that are the most active, because the issue is once again the animation, more games, more things are organized at the grassroots level. So the people who are going to organize more things, the people who are going to play more, will be rewarded with the set coin, with our tokens.
Right, I see. Okay, so it's really aimed at grassroots, but it also can appeal to the more professional players as well, I guess, because you have a separate ranking, right? So they have their ATP ranking. but there'll also be a Setteo ranking, and everyone is equal in this ecosystem.
Yeah. Absolutely, and by the way, it's also unisex, and that's very important.
Okay, yeah.
So obviously, this ranking is going to be used for professional, but once again, our main target as a business, as our core business, is really to support the grassroots, the 99.99999% of players that are recreational and that have been completely abandoned because tennis hasn't changed for the last 30 years.
Right.
Obviously, at a professional level, it changed. You can see that on TV and the digitization and everything. But once again, at the grassroots, it didn't. So yeah, that ranking is definitely a big part of Setteo as well. Once again, more focus on the grassroots. Once again, allowing man, woman to play together, allowing people from different countries to play together. And that's the biggest thing with this ranking and the token. Once again, the blockchain officializing the ranking is the key for us. We needed that validation at some point.
Sure, because it's interesting that, with other sports, they're quite different to tennis in the sense that you hear about tennis players, they have to travel from tournament to tournament and you kind of rely on prize money, but you have to reach a certain level to win the prize money.
Yeah.
So, in a lot of cases, you may have a very good tennis player who isn't able to earn, a significant amount of money or enough really to survive in many cases. So this is kind of potentially keeping people in the game, right? And adding more people to the game as well.
Yeah.
Is that kind of one of the ideas behind it?
Absolutely. One is obviously the people who play more. The more you play, the more you earn. You're not only rewarded for winning matches because the biggest winners, they already earn a lot of money.
Yeah.
So one side is this one, but you're right. Another business model in there, or another use of the token, is definitely for supporting the youngest players, the ones who can become stars tomorrow. Very difficult to get funded for them. So tokens could be as well a very good option. It's on our roadmap. It's not for now, that part of the business, but that's really part of it.
Further down the line. Okay.
Absolutely.
So on the blockchain side then, you're utilizing the Ethereum protocol, right?
Yeah.
So it's an ERC20 token. In terms of the data that you're going to be putting on, because obviously a blockchain is a public record, a public ledger, are you taking certain bits of data and keeping it off-chain? Because of course, there's going to be some private information related to players, they might be under a certain age. So how are you tackling this issue of kind of privacy and security versus having this public database available?
At the end of the day, it's like on a federation, data is public for the players, all players that are federated, which most players are federated right now. All data is available already on the internet. So it's we don't have much problem, on this regard. Plus, at the end of the day, the players consent really. At the end of the day, it's to play more, etc. There's nothing really that private. We shouldn't have problems if people really don't want to release this data. They probably won't play, but once again, all players that belong to a federation, and there are millions and millions and millions of it, they're very happy. Anyway, they have their data there, their matches, statistics, which is the most important thing at the end of the day, match statistics.
So, anyone can have the app, can go anywhere in the world essentially, find other people with the Setteo app, compare rankings and organize a game.
Yeah.
What kind of real world partnerships do you guys have that is kind of helping you to establish this path? Are you working with some of the tennis agencies or anyone that's kind of helping you to bring the players in?
Oh, we have several. Once again, we're really focusing more on grassroots. So one of the key things, we have 4 divisions that actually support the growth of the network. One is called Setteo Soft, because in our platform, we have developed software for supporting club management, tournament management, federation management. We have hundreds of clubs that manage their business through our platform. And obviously, if players from the club want to book a court, they have to download the app. So that's a very nice way, first of all, to get players on board. Same with federation. We have federation that use Setteo for everything, for membership, everything, so no player that is federated escape from Setteo in a way. So that's one of the strategies called Setteo Force, Setteo Soft. Another one is Setteo Force. Setteo Force is a network of ambassadors, and by the way, the Setcoin and the crypto will be very, very interesting then, because the biggest earners of Setcoins will be the ones that are the most active, that we want to hire as ambassadors. All these ambassadors, and we want thousands of them in the world, will be the Setteo Force, so that we can bring to the world messages and bring products instantly through them. Another strategic division is Setteo Events, with the creation of events and the management of events, because we saw actually the engagement in an event through our platforms and software to manage the tournaments, etc., is huge. So obviously it brings players and more engagement. So it's also a very nice way. And last but not least, we're also going to launch, it's in the roadmap for the end of this year, Setteo TV, with the objective to have more content, deliver more and more content. So Setteo TV is both for behind the scene type of content. We are signing strategic partnerships in this regard. But also it's to stream certain matches, not necessarily the top professional matches, but also matches at the club level, matches at the national level, not necessarily international once again. So
opening up the game really for everyone to see at a more grassroots level.
And there again, we have strong partnership with, for example, a company like PlaySite, who just been funded with over 35 millions, and they're streaming, they do smart courts, and we're establishing strategic partnership with them to enable really all players, amateur players, and clubs and organizations to stream their match and have stats. And obviously we would be the channel, the TV channel for this.
Fantastic. Okay. And touching on funding there, so you guys are doing an ICO, a token sale for the Setteo coin. Can you give us a bit of information on how much you're looking to raise and kind of roughly where the funds are going to be attributed to? I'm guessing they're going into the 4 aspects of the business that you just described there.
Yeah, it's definitely very important. It's going to be the marketing. That part is going to be the marketing, because the software for clubs, for example, we need to push. For example, we have a strong contract with the US Professional Tennis Association. That's the biggest professional association of tennis in the world. And we are the official club management software, etc., tournament management software, but we haven't really been able to push, because if we push, we know we're going to have a huge feedback, and we need, definitely to invest into the marketing and into obviously the operation to support this flow of questions and customer service as well that we need. So marketing is one big part of it. 50% more or less going to be dedicated to the marketing, 50% of the funds. And we have 25% obviously for operations, but also 25% for the IT and development of further apps, platforms, etc. So this is where we...
Great. And you're working with Coincilium as well as a strategic advisor. So what kind of support are they providing? And
that's a huge support. Obviously we have internally our experts. Pedro Perez is the CDO of the company. He's really an expert for years, and he's been one of the first Bitcoin investors as well. And he's a telecom engineer, but also an MBA, so he's quite focused on the business side as well, and he's passionate about it. So he actually led the vision. So we have a strong internal capacity, but definitely Coincilium helps a lot because they've been in touch with the market. They can advise us on the legal side, they can advise us on the marketing side, they can advise us on the tokenomics as well to revise certain things. They can advise us in many aspects of the business, obviously connecting us, opening up more contacts, and so that's absolutely fantastic. There's one thing I learned being an entrepreneur for the last 10 years, is that alone you don't go very far. And that's a big learning for me, because as a tennis player, you're alone on the court and you tend to do only everything on your own, and it's always you. And but at the end of the day, this journey with Setteo taught me, and this kind of partnership with Coincilium taught me about this. You need strong people, strong team around you if you want to be successful and make it big. And so Coincilium is really what we needed for as well growing in this field of ICOs and crypto and give a lot of sense to every step we're making right now.
Fantastic. Okay. Well, I know that you're rushing off to Wimbledon, so we're going to let you go, but it was fantastic meeting you, and we look forward to finding out more, and we'll keep up to date with the ICO.
Thank you very much.